What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boy oh boy, I heard some information the other day over on Twitter by a data miner that goes by the name of Temporal. You guys probably know exactly who I'm talking about. That went ahead and released some information about a couple of different things. First and foremost, a game mode that we're going to be discussing. But secondly, some more information behind this game mode, and also some details of, some things that we're going to be able to go ahead and do within the Battle Royale experience, pairing it with Portal. It's going to be absolutely absurd, guys, and seriously, when I say this is going to be game-changing not only for the Battlefield franchise, it's going to be game-changing for the whole FPS scene as a whole. But ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right on deep into the overall topic. This is obviously an overall summary of the brand new game mode by Temporal, Gauntlet. And again, I was very curious why we haven't seen this game mode within any of the betas, but apparently this game mode is going to be specifically played on the BR map, which is more than likely exactly why we didn't get to go ahead and see it. But with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right on in. First and foremost, how to play. Fight together as a squad to complete a series of 4 missions. Squads with the lowest scores in each mission are eliminated. In the final mission, the first squad to reach the point target is the winner, and the better your mission results, the more your field specs improve. Gauntlet uses the Battle Royale map as its location. You could probably customize the mode via Portal, and it will most likely be free to play, which is also another, awesome feature within this game mode. So basically, I guess it's going to be catering more to the BR side of things, and since obviously the BR map is free to play, this game mode is going to be free to play as well. But I kind of like the fact that everybody is fighting against one another, and it's not technically a battle royale. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, okay, each person that dies is going to get absolutely clapped out of the experience. It's more so if your team can't keep up and doesn't play OBJ, you are eliminated from the overall game until the last team standing plays the most OBJ and overall wins the match. I think that's pretty cool. But the modifiers. The mission briefing indicates if a modifier is active. Sudden elimination instantly eliminates you if your squad is wiped. Point multiplier doubles points earned in the final minute of the mission. So it's kind of like what they have in the Splitgate 2 BR. I don't know if any other games have this because I don't really dabble in that many BRs. But in Splitgate 2, basically, within every single round, typically, there's going to be some modifiers that are, introduced, like, better damage or no portals, extra speed, so on and so forth. But within the Gauntlet, there's going to be mini game modes like, again, sudden elimination or even point multiplier, which I think is pretty cool. So again, it's not like a battle royale where you are officially dead, but through certain aspects of this match that you're going to be having on Gauntlet, if you do have sudden elimination and your whole squad dies, you're not going to be able to get back into the fight and play for the OBJ. So you have to try to at least have one person standing who's rotating around and making sure they stay alive. I don't know, just little things like that add to the fun factor of the overall experience. So far, sounding pretty cool. Next up here, mission types. Gauntlet missions are selected in random order and placed in randomized locations. First up, Vendetta. Take out marked enemies in hostile squads. Survive as high-value target to earn points. Next up, Heist. Capture intel caches from the hostile HQ. Carriers are always marked for the enemy. Next up, Wreckage. Pick up bombs to blow up MCOMs. View starts right after bomb pickup. Extraction. Retrieve data drives and deliver them to drones. Check drones for traps to avoid an ambush. Next up, Circuit. Claim and hold nodes, like in Chainlink. Controlled nodes automatically spot hostiles. Deadlock. Secure and hold zones with your squad. Split up to capture more zones for extra points. Next up here, Contract. Track and eliminate enemy squads. Squad deploy only, a wipe results in elimination. And finally, Decryption. Secure and decrypt any beacons you find. Sprinting pauses the decryption process. And additional mission references, Hotwire, Swarm, Territory, and Relay. Overall, ladies and gentlemen, Gauntlet actually sounds like some decent fun. Again, I'm not too big into battle royales. I kind of, fell out of that phase after PUBG. I was heavy into BRs during PUBG. But by the time we got to Warzone and Apex, Fortnite, the big 3 coming on through, I kind of fell out of the hype, I'll be real. The only reason I was probably going to play a decent amount of the BR was to see the new map they're putting together that's based in California. I just think that's such a cool concept and area to go ahead and place a massive map around. So I'm very excited to see how that's going to go down. But to hear that there is a side mode that is not really a side mode, but a main mode within the game that isn't going to be limited time, to allow other players to enjoy the map, I think is a genius idea, because why put together such a massive, insane map if you're not going to allow players to, go in and enjoy it in other ways? It's kind of like that one mode. I can't believe I forgot the name of the mode from Warzone. What was it again? I'm sure you guys will probably be able to think of it. But it was the side mode where you can get your respawns, and, the whole goal is to get the most cash and so on and so forth. I can't believe I forgot it, but, something like that, where players can come in and enjoy the map in different ways. But I'm going to be honest, I feel like this sounds way more fun. I like the idea of this, allowing, I think it's 4 separate teams to go into this massive map, multiple different random game modes popping up out of nowhere that you have to go ahead and complete, and also having modifiers on top of those game modes to add a little bit of spice into the mix. And to be honest, I'm very curious what you're going to be able to use the points for, because again, one of the modifiers is point multiplier, doubles points earned in the final minute of the mission. Now, my curiosity is, are points just used for, again, who's winning and who's losing, your overall score? Or are points used kind of like the, the call-in system in other games, where you can maybe call in vehicles to assist you within winning the overall match? And that will kind of encourage players to want to grind for more points and play a little bit more aggressively during certain events, because that means they'll be able to get an extra advantage moving later into the overall match. But at the end of the day, I got to be real, I am actually kind of excited to give this a shot. I wasn't really pumped at first when they first described it, but after seeing some more details, I don't think it's going to be like the most played thing that I go into. I'll probably still stick with Conquest and Breakthrough, because that's just what Battlefield's all about. But I'm not going to lie, it does seem pretty interesting. But ladies and gentlemen, we haven't even touched upon the craziest part of this overall information here. Forget about the game mode. The game mode is cool and all, and like I said, I probably won't play it 24/7. I'll dabble in it, but forget about it. The craziest part about all of this is right here. Danny on PC actually responded saying, "Imagine if we could do Portal BR." And Temporal said, "Pretty sure this is going to be a thing." And continuing on in this thread, I think it's by Echo Frog, saying, "Wait, does that mean we can use the BR map as multiplayer in Portal? Like using the port area for Conquest?" And Temporal said, "Yes, you can use multiple areas, like the marina, in Portal." So, ladies and gentlemen, not only are you going to be able to go into Portal and completely recustomize all of the multiplayer maps, you are also going to be able to use the whole BR map. And you can take bits and pieces of each area. You can cut them off into being maybe a smaller conquest area, a larger conquest area. You can completely customize whatever you want, set boundaries around whatever you want. Or even if you want to just customize the BR map yourself, you can go ahead and do so and change elements and change things around. That is absolutely insane. I understand that Fortnite allows you to do this, but come on now. Yeah, we can give them props, but Battlefield is a lot more of an in-depth game. Not when it comes to the skill gap, but when it comes to just, I guess, how complex it is between the destruction, the amount of players that are going on with all the destruction, the vehicles, in-depth vehicles that add to the destruction. All of these things. That's hard to run, ladies and gentlemen. That's really hard to get going. And, having them give us full access to that as well is absurd. Guys, seriously, I know Portal's getting a lot of crap right now, and I can't blame anyone, because what they introduced with Portal for Battlefield 2042 was disgusting, and it was insulting that they said that game mode was a love letter to their fans. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. But I do have faith that this is going to be way more improved, something much more in depth. Something that we can actually do what we thought we were going to be able to do within 2042 before we were massively let down. So, again, as I said, I understand where people are coming from if they don't want to trust this, but my God, every single bit of news that I hear about Portal gets me so freaking excited. Now, again, I'm not one of the people that really likes to go ahead and make these creations, but playing them, seeing what the community puts together, I've seen masterpieces in all games that allow you to, go ahead and create maps, whether it's Splitgate, Halo. There are a lot of stupidly creative people out there. And, oh boy, like I said, with the elements of Battlefield at their fingertips while creating these maps, I can only imagine what some people are going to go ahead and create within this overall franchise. I can't even say I'm excited anymore. That's an understatement about how I feel about Battlefield 6. And I truly can't wait to get my hands on this overall title. But ladies and gentlemen, go down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that the new game mode Gauntlet is going to be cool? Do you think it will get you into the BR experience a bit more compared to, if Gauntlet wasn't a thing? How would you improve the game mode, or do you think the game mode's perfect as it is? And also, when it comes down to being able to edit the BR map in Portal, do you think that's cool? Do you think it's pointless? Do you think it's a waste of their time? Just let me know what you guys think down below. I love reading through all the comments. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post your daily at 8 morning Eastern time, and sometimes we go ahead and double upload at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Everything between COD, Battlefield, Splitgate 2, Arc Raiders, and any other shooter that comes out that kind of sparks my interest. You best believe you'll see it on this channel. So subscribe and hit that bell. And last but not least, if you guys are interested in my live streams, I stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern time. Of course, if you guys are interested, go link that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all next one. Peace out.